Once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Isaac, David, and Josh, welcome to Sports Jazz. Like, share our videos, hit the subscribe, and yeah, once again, shout outs to you, Nick, always keeping it real. So, guys, today we have a very interesting topic. As I just say, we're going to talk about Zubimendi, what happened. But first, let's deal and talk about Manchester United's transfer business, transfer season, transfer window, how they've handled the window. Things are running so fast. They're signing players, unlike last season where they used to wait and wait, and towards the end of the transfer window, they pull up and get a player who's costing or very very costly. So today we have Joshua Zirkzee who joined. We have Leny Yoro, defender, joined, currently injured. We have the Ligt Mazraoui, who are set to be announced later today, according to reports. Medical done, everything done. Photo shoot was also done. Then we have the talented, promising young Chido Obi-Martin, who crossed from Arsenal, even after being given a new contract, turned it down after talking to Rod Valestre, from what I heard when he went to visit at Carlington, and he was convinced and he liked the project. Josh, how do you rate? I mean, with whatever is happening right now, currently, how do you rate Manchester United's transfer window, and who do you give credit to?
Well, to be able to appreciate where Man United has reached in its business or preparations for the season,
Yeah,
you must know that that even the season, even last season, United fans were not accustomed to having players or signing players or making deliberate efforts to better the club. Most of us looked at it like what was being done at the club was majorly to market the club or PR stand, or we were getting in players to add us value on the stock exchange market, but not really players who are bought for the benefit of the product on the pitch. You should know that Ed Woodward, for over a decade, was the CEO at Man United. And at the time that he came in, leaving the post of CFO, he came in when David Gill and Alex Ferguson, figureheads who had been at the club for such a long time, had left. But their fingerprints were ingrained in every fabric of the club. They knew how everything was run at the time. So Ed Woodward comes, he's a novice. I mean, don't get me wrong, he does do a good job wherever he was before while those people were there. But then he was tasked to be the chairman of a football club as big as Man United. But it showed that he continued to do the commercial transactions at the club, and
yeah.
he forgot
Josh,
the football on the pitch.
one would say he was a very good businessman. Yeah, correct. One would
Sorry?
argue. One would argue that Woodward was a very, very, very good businessman.
I don't know even how that makes sense. I am made to believe that that is the case because I mean United still has revenue despite the positions that we had over the period that he was chairman at the club. So I don't know how he did do that, but when you look at it, of the product that feeds the football club, which is the football on the pitch, we were way off, and we were way off. He made signings all the time that were not for the development of the football club, but as if he intended them to serve a purpose. They did serve a purpose because when you're talking about players like Schweinsteiger, you're talking about managers like Louis van Gaal, like Jose
Falcao.
Mourinho,
Yeah.
you know, those are statement managers and statement players. So it gave us a boost in ways, but out the door he went, and Richard Arnold came in, but Richard Arnold, like him, was not really. He had been at the club for 16 years, but he was not really a football man. So
Correct.
he's brought in as chairman of the club. He was CEO, but with that, I don't think he knew how to do the business. That's why you see that we continued to make mistakes. At least
Mm.
this time, he knew that he's not. I know it all. He
Okay.
entrusted he entrusted
Mm.
the manager to guide him in the transfer market. The manager did guide him, but we ended up buying players like Anthony, players like Rasmus Hoyland. Um, we bought a couple of players that season, but the fee at which we bought those players, you can
Yeah, I
say that
remember
the
Maguire
yeah, the
coming in
manager.
for 80 million pounds.
No, actually, the last season with Richard
That
Arnold,
season.
there was
Okay, yeah.
Rasmus Hoyland, there was Mason
Richard
Mount,
Arnold
there was
and
Andre
Jude.
Onana,
Yeah.
Sofiane Amrabat, Altaya
Mm.
in there, Johnny Evans, Sergio Regulon, and it was very, very, very hard for you to understand why Man United was paying out of this world for these players. Like Anthony, there was a point Ajax was willing to let the player go for 40 million pounds.
They
we
dragged
let
on
it
to the
we left it
last.
late, and we
Yeah,
ended up paying 80. Yeah, it
80.
dragged on and dragged on, but
Anyway, so
yeah,
Josh,
thank God thank God that chapter was closed and Ineos is here.
let me come back to you, Josh.
So
Yeah,
I had to
David.
give you, yes, I did
Yeah,
have to give you that background to understand where
it's
we are
okay.
now.
Thank you, thank you. We
Yeah.
really appreciate. David, I mean, with what Josh has just said, why right now United is doing so well, change in the management, backroom staff, majority of them have gone, or in other words, have left. So we are still 2 weeks away from the window closing, and Man United has already signed 5 players. They've signed, of course, I've already mentioned them, but I'll give you an example. Is Joshua Zirkzee a very good signing for Manchester United, considering the problems they have in the final third? We see what happened last season. They struggled to get goals. Josh, sorry, David, I can't hear you. David, David, I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. I think your mic is unmute the mic just below the mic, below the mic.
So I want to just dovetail off what Josh was describing.
Yeah.
Clearly, the way I see it, Ineos is a British company.
Yeah.
Unlike the previous figureheads at the top, the people within the environment at Ineos, you can tell by the decisions they have made so far that they are coming from, or they have observed that richly British football culture.
Yeah.
And that means they are not going, their vision is much longer and bigger than the American owners that I don't know if they have left or they have just reduced their stake in the company. I'm not sure about those details.
They
But
reduced their stake in the company.
yeah, so Ineos comes from that rich British heritage that understands football. And even if they are not exactly a football organization, they come from that culture. You can see that they have taken their time to see how exactly to run a football club, with the focus being the results on the pitch. You are saying, you just said it looks like United is doing better. No, they're not yet doing better, but you're speaking from a place of optimism, because we can all agree that the decisions they have made so far, including the acquisitions like Zirkzee and all the other things, look definitively geared towards success on the pitch. Zirkzee is a different profile from, say, the previous players they used to sign, like the Pogbas and all. Look at the age of the player. He's carefully chosen to suit the manager. You know, they
Very
have
good.
this understanding, we can tell by the decisions they're making, that they are building a project. What they want is consistency, right? I would have never thought in my wildest imagination that a player like Wan-Bissaka, and this might sound a little harsh, could be in Man U, especially if Manchester United's
How much did
aspirations
they
are
pay?
to remain.
How much did they pay to get Bissaka? 50 or
Man,
40?
50,
hell,
50.
he could have even come for free, and I would still question that acquisition, right?
Yeah,
Because and you can see that now that's different.
that is
Wan-Bissaka seems
harsh.
like a very, very good footballer for teams that are starting middling teams, right? Middling teams. Like, you see all the praise we're lavishing on West Ham and Aston Villa. Wan-Bissaka can slot into that picture, no questions asked. You see,
And
but
we are
not
so
United.
happy for we are so happy for the signing West Ham has made. I mean,
You see,
it looks like a
yeah.
very good signing.
Yeah, but elite, like top echelon of football, that is not
Yeah.
a player that belongs to money, because we know that those are the aspirations of United as a club, according to their legacy and even the demands that the
And he
stakeholders of
went
the
too
club are
cheaply, man.
placing on Ineos.
15 million, 15 million euros.
Good riddance.
Yeah, good riddance. Good riddance. And besides, he actually went for a bit more,
Mm,
because the deal was 20 million.
mm,
But he demanded that he be compensated 7 million pounds. I believe, in my own opinion, I
yeah,
do believe that a negotiation was reached of 5 million, and it was taken off the transfer fee. That's why it
yeah.
ended up at 15, because initially it was 20 million.
Okay, and that's one Bisaka for you. And by the way, do you think, I mean, as David was just saying, is he going to do well at, because he's decided to go join West Ham? He's being welcomed very
Definitely.
well.
He's going to do well.
Uh,
It's
and
Yeah, he
he's
will
going to
do
do well.
well,
Yeah?
but yeah, I feel like it's bad timing for him, because Moyes has left, and there's Lopetegui, and Lopetegui
Mm,
might want to be a bit modern, but he would
mm,
suit a manager like Dave Moyes. You want your right back to be a right back, nothing more. You want your left back to be a
No
left back,
fancy
nothing
things.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah, no fancy
mm.
things.
You
You
don't want
see
him to be too
now.
clever.
Exactly. If Lopetegui doesn't ask him to be too clever, he'll be such a signing for him.
Anyway, yeah, that's it. And guys, let's talk about the duo that was signed a few and confirmed a few days ago. Not yet officially announced, but we understand medicals and everything are done. That is Mazraoui and Delete. I know Delete has a very, by the way, he has a very scary injury around his knee. I don't know whether the United team, medicals, and Ten Hag and his whole crew had already, uh, I mean, scanned and noticed. I believe they already know, but Josh, don't you think they should worry about that? Because he also had sometimes he also has problems with the shoulder. Shouldn't they be worried?
Yeah, United fans, we have mixed feelings about the new signings of De Ligt and Mazraoui, but
Yeah.
we still delighted that we have two new faces better than the ones we had. I mean,
Mm,
if you as a United fan, if you know that now your backline will have as backup De Ligt or
yeah.
Mazraoui, and not Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire. I mean, it's a step up. It's a step up.
Yeah.
So the concern uh, is about their injuries. Mazraoui is injury prone. He has been for the best of 6 years now,
Yeah.
and De Ligt has a problem with his inner ligament around the knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has disturbed him about 3 times. Um, but the people we've signed, they are such talented footballers. If I'm even inclined to believe that Ineos does believe that their medical team they have set up will take a
Mm.
good care of these people to maybe even produce at this point, because it is out there. We all know that these players are injury prone, but at least they're worth the gamble. Their talent is worth the gamble.
Yeah, and yeah, that's a Bisaka for you yesterday evening in Manchester United. Bisaka and Mazarawi having a night out,
Delict,
getting to know the feel. Mazarawi
delict.
and Delete. Sorry. Mazarawi and Delete. Medicals done. Announcement coming through very, very soon. And it's a hooray for Manchester United fans. I know they should be very, very, very happy right now. And yeah, Josh, and about Leny Yoro, signed, came in expensively, not playing, got injured, is going to be out. The report was 3 months, but we are being told it's going to be more than 3 months from what's coming through. It's going to be more than 3 months. What's your say on that?
First of all, I'm not a doctor to say this, but it will be 3 months or less. I know there's a
No, they said
the
it could
English
take more.
media
They said
likes
it could
to.
take more.
No, the English media likes to blow things out of proportion because they're already telling you that Eric Ten Hag is such a failure. He signed Leny Yoro, who
Yeah.
was who was gotten injured. You understand? I've read that somewhere. They put it
Uh,
out there. Anyhow, the signing of Leny Yoro was such a statement from Ineos
yeah.
of what they intended to do. It was early. It was a talented footballer who was
Mm,
18 years old, the best generational talent in his position at the time.
Josh. Josh.
He's the best 18-year-old
David.
center back
David.
in Europe.
Yeah.
David. You're going to stay quiet while
Yeah.
the man. You know he's. You know he's a Man United fan, so he's going.
No, it's not even about being a Man United fan. It surely is. And the reason I tell you this is because you see, like Real Madrid had courted this kid for over 6 months.
Oh yeah. By
You
the
know,
way, he
yeah,
should have.
they had
I
courted
remember
this
that.
kid
Kind of
for over
reminds
six
me of
months. They had
Varane.
convinced him. He was actually convinced he would go to the club,
Uh,
but Ineos swoops in. They convince the player. They convince Lille, and the player chooses to come to Man United. So that was such a statement signing. I think he was the first player in a very long time we've signed off the hands of Real Madrid, and I mean that's no mean feat. At least that shows
thank.
intent from Ineos.
Yeah, thank you. And Nick, shout out to you once again. Nick says if United play as they did in the Community Shield, I believe they'll strongly finish in the top four. You're making Josh smile. You're giving him false hopes. We all know United. You're soon going to turn out like Arsenal. Not that they don't perform so well, but they are good when it comes to bottling items. There are some items that Arsenal always bottles. Every time they're about to grab it, something happens. Anyway, thank you so much for the insight, Josh. Then, yeah, David, you're an Arsenal fan. You lost Chido Obi-Martin, a very promising, talented striker to Manchester United, and on a free transfer. Even after you had offered him a new contract worth 15,000, he decided to say no. But he didn't say no to only you. He said no to also Bayern Munich, and he chose United. And yeah, what do you have to say? I mean, should United be happy? Is he going to be a great player for them? Is he going to do well?
He's he's definitely going to become. He has the potential. The qualities are in place for him to be, a really top level center forward.
Yeah.
However, his issue with Arsenal is the level where the project is now.
Mm,
And I'm trying to see it from both sides based on the information available. Arsenal may not make some certain guarantees to him. He feels
mm,
ready. For example, he's the same age as Leny Yoro, just a year, a difference of a year. You see, and at Arsenal, in order for you at that age to even get some minutes from the first team, you really have to be ready. According to information that is available from Arsenal,
mm.
we see him as quality. Arsenal sees him as quality, very, very high potential, high ceiling, but he's not ready. He's not ready. He has a lot. He has a lot of physical potential, and he may not get that game time while developing those particular attributes. He's a big kid. All the fundamentals, he has them of a center forward, top level center forward. He's good
Yeah.
with the 1v1. He can turn left, turn right. He has a bit of a burst of pace, but physically he's not yet formed into a center forward that can actually compete with the likes of Jesus and whoever else is at Arsenal, right? And
Mm,
it's probably the same reason he rejected other suitors. At United, he genuinely has a chance. The people who are
mm.
there have also just gotten into the club. They
Josh, that is a dig
probably
at you, by the way.
no,
Somehow.
it's not a dig. It's simply that's where the project is. When you look at your speaker, your mic is off, Josh. When you look at the options
Uh,
available to Ten Hag, he
mm,
has a higher chance if he did
mm.
certain things, if he showed certain things early enough,
Yeah.
he has a
Yeah.
chance to compete. Still, I'm sure with the way Manu is moving, they are also not going to guarantee him the game time that he needs. He may
Now,
still
if
be
this
taken.
if Rasmus keeps being and visiting the sick bay every time, who knows? He might come through.
There's also that, but he
Well,
cannot be the go-to guy at this point. He still has a lot of
no,
developing to do.
I also believe he won't be the go-to guy. You've ably um, described the player that he is, or the talent that he is. But what I do know, that having being 16 and having seen Kobe Mainu, Ganacho, all of them get a chance into the first team, it
Yeah.
actually gives him belief that I can only wait 2 years at United. Whereas at Arsenal, I've not seen anyone from the academy go through those doors. So here I have a better
Nwaneri.
chance. The project is young. Yeah, but even Ethan Nwaneri has one debut, and I don't know, in 2 years. I
He's
think he played some
this season we're
minutes
going
in
to
two
see a
years.
lot more of him.
They've not really played
Also,
any football.
you're
They've not
right.
really
Yeah,
been integrated. So at Arsenal, the project is far away from him, whereas at United it's just starting. So he has a chance in
it
2
is in
years, or
reach.
it
Yeah.
could even be a year, because at
Okay.
Also,
17
there's
he can
this.
actually play.
Mm.
There's also the fact that it's easy to incorporate. Okay, I'll speak specifically about the center forward position. I think it's the most difficult to promote youth players to. I mean, from when you look at the market, uh, center forwards are, you have to be like really, really good to be even demanded anywhere. I could tell
Is
you that
Solanke very, very good? I mean, they just paid
Solanke,
65 million pounds for
see
him.
how much Solanke costs, and we don't
No,
consider
no,
him
no. You
anything.
just said you have to be very good. So I'm
You
asking,
have to be very
is
good.
he worth that amount? I personally
Solanke is
think
not
Yeah,
entering the
40.
United
No,
squad.
the ma-
Josh.
Solanke is not
the
entering
money the
Arsenal.
money could,
Solanke is not.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you see
No,
what I
maybe
mean? So Chido Obi is entering United.
that's a
United's
curveball.
aspirations are
That's a
top level.
curveball, David.
You
Okay.
see, so for you to come and be the go-to guy, the go-to
Mm.
goal scorer at United, that takes some doing. I think you'll have to do some waiting for that to happen. But he feels definitely
Yeah,
that he has a better chance there.
he has a
And
better chance, and for me, I believe that if he's that good, even
But the kid
at
is good.
16 he can play.
mm,
If
mm,
he's that good, even at 16 he can play, because
he can play.
at
Yeah,
his age, he's almost as tall as Erling Haaland. He's 6'2" at
he's
his
tall, by
age.
the way.
So
He's
I
very
mean,
tall.
yeah, he's not even developed and stuff like that. So I mean, he can play. He can play.
All right, thank you,
But you have
Josh.
to be
Sorry,
very cautious on how you bring him in.
Yeah.
David did talk about positions lacking in still lacking in Manchester United. And Josh, this brings me to the midfield, position. What answers do you have? What answers are you going to use? I mean, because you're moving from one player to another. You came in first for Ugarte. It seems things are not going so well. Although Roma is with Manuel Ugarte, the deal is coming back on, and George Mendes is in Manchester United currently to handle business so that Ugarte signs for Man United with the fee likely to be reduced or comes on loan with an option to buy. But anyway, back to the point, Josh, what answers do you have? You have Ugarte, you have Sanderbaj, you have Fofana at one point. Zubimendi came in the picture at some point, but said no. Even yesterday, he broke hearts. People are still crying. They're nursing hearts because he rejected them. Uh, what answers do you have for your midfield? Is it Ugarte,
First of all, you
Sanderbaj?
should know. First of all, you should know that a player at
I
Real
want to know.
Sociedad cannot reject Man United. Zubimendi never said no to United.
He
He
said no to
never
which
said
club?
no. We just didn't know. He said no to Liverpool. He was not
Okay.
convinced by the project anyway. But
That is not fair to say Liverpool is a top
no,
club.
but
Very, very.
yeah, it is a top club, but the player himself was not really convinced that that was the journey for him at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. So proceed.
For United and Zubimendi, we only failed to meet the asking price of Sociedad, and we saw
So
that it was always
Ugarte.
going to be a difficult deal because Sociedad was not willing to sell.
Yeah.
Manuel Ugarte has always been on, and it's on. We shall we shall continue to push for the signature of Manuel Ugarte. You say we are jumping from player to player, but I think every Man
Correct.
United fan is this is the first transfer window a Man United fan has been this optimistic.
Mm.
As in, there's so much hope around the whole transfer window. Even when they brought two players yesterday, we
Yeah.
do believe that we are not yet done. You know,
Mm.
we believe we are not yet done, and Manuel Ugarte is the icing on the cake. I think we should be able to do a deal, whether a loan deal or they reduce the price. And George Mendes is in good books with the club. I
Yeah.
mean, we've done business together for such a long time.
Correct.
Yeah, maybe he just gives us that one.
And and you get him. Then we have Nobat message saying, "Well done, guys. Thank you, Nobat." We have Brandy Survivor. Talk about Amrabat. Do we still need him? Josh, there's the question of Amrabat. Amrabat came on loan. I myself, I wasn't very much impressed. But as a backup, as a squad player, yeah, maybe it's good. He can stay, but they're still asking for a lot of money. Yesterday, you did talk about when you were replying. Was it Gita? Yeah, it was Gita who said you get Ugarte or Sandabaj and keep Amrabat too, right? No, he said you get Sandabaj and you keep
And
Amrabat as
Emrabat.
well. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
there's no level raiser there. There's no level raiser there. My Amrabat, we do still need Amrabat
if he comes on a free
because
transfer, it's okay. You can start.
n-
He can do much
no, I
better
think
than.
he's still contracted for a year. I
Yeah.
think he's still contracted for a year, but we can still get Sofiane Amrabat because of one reason.
Mm,
He will be cheaper than the rest, the options
mm.
that we do have. You see, we couldn't even accept to pay his buyout clause because we just wanted it to be negotiated down. So I think we do still need Sofiane Amrabat or uh,
So,
get Sandabaj and
so
Manuel Ugarte.
yeah, I think that would be the best. That would
Yeah,
be
it
a
would be
great
the
deal.
best, but the money might be a bit too much.
No, you would have to sell. You would have to let some people go. The problem is, this is the problem with Manchester United. I mean, the previous seasons, they've been buying players, okay, costly, paying loads of money, but when it comes to selling them, they've been look at how Anthony Marshall left. They've
Because
been
the
either
deal
losing them cheaply or they walk free and they go out. Yet they've
because
been
the deal
receiving.
the deal from the start was very poorly negotiated. I mean, you
Mm.
bought you
But at
bought
least now you have players. You've sold a few players this season. You've sold Mason. You've sold. Is it Kwambaya? Sorry, if I'm
Kwambala,
pronounced. Yeah,
Willie
Kwambala. You've
Kwambala,
uh-huh. You've sold
Donny
a few
van der
players.
Beek.
Yeah,
Yeah,
although he went cheaply, but it's good.
yeah, he had to
I mean,
go.
you're coming back. Then one Bissaka now, 15 million pounds. Not so bad.
Yeah,
David, any pointers
Yeah, I
for
want to
Manchester
put in a
United midfield?
thought. I want to put in a thought on Amrabat.
Mm,
You see, I'm not. I refuse to believe his performance. I refuse to associate him with the performance we saw last
yeah.
season. And to be fair, several players looked terrible last season
Mm.
in that outfit, including the manager. He occasionally looked out of sorts and confused himself. But we know why. We have extensively spoken about those reasons. And
Yeah.
this is why players these days choose the projects they join very, very carefully, because a project like that can just kill your stock. But I'm
Mm.
convinced there's a good player in there in Amrabat. And if he found a stable ship, if
Mm.
the pieces have been assembled together, as we
Yeah.
see this season, prior to the forthcoming whatever, it seems to me that if Amrabat were given a chance, he would just prove himself. He has the quality. He has the quality. I will not call him elite, but he has the quality to be a
He's
top
better than
anchorman for
Scott
a team like
McTominay.
by far you can't
different
even compare
players.
the
Different
same.
players. Scott McTominay is like a jack of all trades, and the way that
Yeah,
saying ends is not really nice. He's a master of none. But
Man, you guys
he's
are
a
so
master of
but
none indeed.
Amrabat,
yeah.
we have seen Amrabat playing at
Oh,
levels that are just out of this world. And it's
Yeah.
because he just slotted
yeah.
into
Plus,
something that was well assembled. You see, so
yeah.
I
And the
believe that
problem
if
though,
See, sorry, just Zach is saying, uh,
David, go on.
no, Zach is saying let them go. Because their wages are high at United, and they're already trying to make
Yeah.
trying to sell
Yeah, yeah.
makes it hard for players to get contract. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, David, you are still saying
Yeah. And on
McTominay.
some level,
Mm,
even as a neutral person, I am
yeah,
hoping that Amrabat can grow into uh, the replacement for Casemiro. I am really hoping for that because his
that's if he
ball
stays.
skills,
That's if he stays.
his use of the ball. Yeah, if he stays, I hope he
He's
stays.
no, why
His
you
use
saying
of
he
the ball is
stays?
not
He's
bad.
not around.
No, I'm saying
He's
that's. By the
Amrabat
way,
is not
he's
he's
supposed to
not
be.
he's
on
not even
United
around,
cards.
No, no,
but
the
he's an
Yeah,
long
he's
option
not
on
term.
the
around. He's
table.
not on United cards. Yeah, he's an option on the table.
I think they should go for it.
Correct.
I think they should go for it. Yeah, because
Mm.
even Ten Hag has. It seems Ten Hag has this new belief that he could be supported, and that usually
It looks
affects the
like
rest
he's
of the team and the
yo.
decisions he makes.
It looks like he's bringing the whole boys, the whole, what's that squad? I'm forgetting
I can't
the
blame him.
squad.
The Ajax boys.
No, yeah, but there's a funny. I've forgotten the name. He has now. He has how many players? I think around 11. Okay, all together, those that have
No,
played for. No, I'm saying all together, even those that left. Wegos,
but why is
is
that?
it
Why
Vegos?
is that even Why is that even important? You
No,
see,
it's not. I'm just
because
saying
there's been
because
no, but
okay, now
because
okay, Josh,
there's been
what excuse?
like
Assuming everyone is fit, what excuse is Eric Ten Hag going to give us this season?
a manager
Are you
should never
expecting
be in a
silverware?
position. It doesn't
Who-
set himself.
For
Yes,
Manchester United,
a manager
you
doesn't
ask
set
Josh. Josh, are
himself
you
up
expecting
for.
silverware if
No,
everything
can
is
I
okay?
answer one question at a time though?
Okay,
A
go.
manager can never set themselves up to give excuses. Yeah. So he's
Yeah,
doing the best that he can with the resources available to him to actually make this club a tick. You see, uh, by the way, I need a whole show to tell you about the problems that Eric Ten Hag went through in 18 months. No manager in the world has ever done that.
we shall come back and
Can I
give you a
go through
full
them
show.
real quick?
I can. We shall come back and give you a full
No,
show,
as in
Josh.
like he dealt with Ronaldo. There was time of uncertainty on the ownership of the club. He dealt with Jadon Sancho's mental health. He dealt with
Mm.
Marcus Rashford, Garnacho, even before the season started. The
Anthony
English
Marshall,
press.
Mason Mount,
There was
Mason
just so
Mount.
much around him.
Mason
Anthony
Mount.
Martial, Mason
Yeah, he
Mount.
came and
Then the treatment table. The stuff that he
whoever,
went through. But real
whoever.
quick,
By the way,
what I'm trying to say, it's not
yeah,
important if a manager is trying to assemble a side to be competitive. As in, with the resources that you see, we could have bought a midfielder, but we could not. So what does
yeah,
the manager do? Go to Safian Amrabat, safe player.
his
You know
old
him a
boy.
bit. We were just unfortunate that he came with an injury.
But what's with Man United players coming with injuries?
Yeah,
Rasmus also came with
he
an
had
injury. The lead is. By the
yeah,
way,
but
Josh,
that is a deal.
guys, in
That is a
five
deal
minutes,
the
let's talk
club
about.
felt it had to do.
I know we had talked about this, but in 5 minutes, real quick, let us all of us together start possible starting lineup for Manchester United. I mean, just of course we are going to come back with the EPL review and all that, but real quick, I mean, I have Onana. Okay, I have. There's no way Luke Shaw is coming back now. He's still
The
Malaysia
EPL
maybe after
what?
6 months. Now I'm saying we
Sorry,
shall come
EPL.
back with the EPL review, probably
Okay,
maybe
okay,
tomorrow after tomorrow. But real quick, what's the starting 11 you see for Man United? In goal, Onana.
okay.
Right back, Dalot. There's no way Mazraoui is taking unless he's injured. Dalot. Then you
That's
have
yours. You give yours.
okay. Onana, Dalot. You have wait. Let me look for of course. You have Lisandro Martinez, the butcher. You have Delete is coming through. You have Mazarawi playing on the because he can play. I don't I'm not a fan of Luke Shaw. I think he's had his time. He glitters, then he disappears. So yeah, that's my back four. You have Ligt, Mazraoui, left back, Dalot, right back, and the Butcher leading the defense. Then you have in midfield, I have Kobe Maino and Casemiro. I'm talking about players that are available right now, not those. I'm not going to include anyone that is not. So Kobe Maino, Casemiro, and Fernandez. Then from the right, I have Amad Diallo ahead of Anthony. Left, I have Ganacho ahead of Sancho. And leading the line, no, for real, leading the line, I have Joshua Zirkzee. For real. I've seen enough of these players. I've seen enough of all those players. So I don't want them anywhere
Of
near the
Rashford.
squad. Rashford, Jadon Sancho, Anthony, maybe Anthony, okay, maybe. But Rashford, Jadon Sancho, let them go to PSG. PSG is very interested. Yeah, Josh, you're starting lineup. David, I'm not going to, since
Um,
you're an Arsenal fan, you might pick
but
John
he has
Evans.
seen the players. But
He's
I'll
for
going
me,
to tell you
propose
John
only
Evans.
once. I'll
He's
propose
going to
only the
say
midfield.
he's going to say Johnny Evans in the
yeah,
goal.
Onana,
You know? Yeah.
Onana
Okay.
in goal,
Yeah.
Mazraoui, Dallo left back, and
Yeah.
Ligt and Lisandro Martinez. Then I would have Casemiro, Kobe Mainu, and Fernandez. Then Amad Diallo, Joshua Zirkzee, and Rashford. Ganacho comes off the bench to score the second goal, and it's 2-0.
Gita says you're expecting silverware this season.
Yeah. We do
You know,
expect silverware.
Oh
We are
God.
Man United. I
see,
expect to win the league.
Nick is very sharp. He has been asking Gita which team you support, and Gita's been going in circles. So today he says, so Gita is also a Man United fan. Well,
Yeah.
Brandy says, I think Rashford should be benched 100%. He's had his time, he's had his season.
Rashi doesn't do well off the bench, but Ganacho does even better as off the bench. So I would rather Ghana comes off the bench.
David, yeah, you were saying? You said you would say
Is
something.
is it lost on you guys completely why Zirkzee came? Yes, he has the goal or two, but with Zirkzee on the pitch, the first player I would pick would be Rashford, because
Oh,
Zirkzee
with him.
is yes, Zirkzee is masterful at facilitating.
Mm.
You know, it would make work all the more easier if if Rashford has Zirkzee providing or facilitating or supporting him on some level, you know. And then on top of that, you add the Fernandos of this, the Bruno Fernandes of this world. So, man, you guys just don't like that player. He's probably the
No,
best player at your
I,
club.
I just
I
put him, I
know.
added him in my, I said the one leading my
Said you
striking
can
line
go
will
to
be Joshua
PSG.
Zirkzee. Josh is the one
No.
who picked Rashford to lead his line.
Yes, Auntie, he's telling you
Yes.
you don't like Rashford. That's what he's saying.
No,
But
Rashford,
you
no.
don't know. You when
No,
you see
it's not that
Joshua
I don't like
Zirkzee
him.
play,
I like
When you
him.
see
It's not that I
Joshua
don't like
Zirkzee,
him.
you're
See,
tired
see.
of him. You're
Rashford.
tired of him. Okay,
Yeah, I'm just
understood.
tired
You're
of
tired
him.
of him.
He's done enough.
But you're going to see a new lease of life to Rashford and Amad Diallo if they
Hopefully.
actually pay attention. Because Joshua Zirkzee plays like he told you he's a 9.5.
He brings
Yeah,
them
He,
into
he's
the
not a number
game
he
nine,
feels
very,
not a
very
10,
himself. I
well.
saw him
but
talking.
he brings them into his skill set. He has too much skill to even play one of those
Okay, thank you.
places.
So let's go into Fadi. Fadi says question for today: JJ Okocha or Yaya Toure? Fadi, rather Fadli. Yeah, Nick Okocha is
JJ, no
Okocha.
doubt.
JJ is JJ. That man was something. Then ask Ronaldinho and he will tell you who JJ Okocha is. Then I think Gita is responding to Nick. As a football fan, we expect United to win Europa. EPL is far off the mark. That's the standard of the team. United stature. What else? We also expect them to finish in the top four. We expect Arsenal to win EPL. Gita is putting Man United way up there, and I
He's
don't see
lowering
any of
his
that
Wait,
happening.
expectations.
what's wrong with you,
That
Isaac?
What? I've
Why are
seen
you
enough.
scoffing at United?
No, I've seen. I know. I mean, they are players. I'm telling. Don't be surprised if West Ham performs even better than Manchester United this season. I say, don't be surprised, Josh, because I know you're about to attack. You're about to launch.
Me, I will not be surprised. You will be surprised when we win the Premier League.
I'll be surprised for sure because I don't see that happening. Anyway, guys, so
And the
we have
Europa League.
that's it for you about Manchester United.